Hey, what's going on, folks? DeathGod here, and I'm going to give you a recap of Season 6 top 5 weapons, top 5 worst weapons, and my initial impressions on Season 7. This is day 1 of Season 7, giving you my initial impressions of it. Here we go. Alright, folks, and the way that we're going to rank these weapons are 1. Accuracy, precision, controllability. 2. Damage, DPS, mag size, and 3. Resource requirements / rarity. So a more common but harder hitting, more controllable weapon will rank higher than, say, a really rare weapon that is just kind of meh in the performance. So here we go. Alright, we've got number 1. In my opinion, the best gun in the game is the HBAR. It has solid damage, a good rate of fire, really good range, but its main advantage is that controllability. So I'll show you what I mean right here on the range. Okay, we're going to load it up. And most weapons in this game, you know, they're controllable on single fire. You know, anybody can really do that, but there's only a few weapons that are actually good, no shit, holding it down in the full auto, fully automatic, controllable. You can just mow it down. Just look at the cone of death there. Does not move very much. A lot of these weapons, they'll just go like straight up in the air. Like RPK is terrible with that. But the HBAR, I mean, is really just good, you know, at whatever distance, just even hip firing. But it also has a nice little scope. So if you really want to hit shit that's really far away, you can scope in, you know, if you're kneeling or standing, hold your breath, and just nail your shots. Yeah, so in my opinion, best weapon in the game right here. Very close second is the Gewehr 3 SG1. So similar in controllability to that HBAR, doesn't shoot as fast, so not necessarily as good in a very close range combat. However, the base damage is higher than the HBAR. So it's really hard deciding which one is actually better. I end up choosing the HBAR over the Gewehr 3 SG1, but the Gewehr 3 SG1 is an extremely solid choice, and you cannot go wrong with this thing. It's pretty awesome. Similar to the HBAR, it also has a long-range scope. So we'll go on the range here. You know, we've got the scope right there. Go ahead and crouch. Go ahead and hit your shots. Okay, nice little scope. And then you can flip that thing to full auto, get it into hip fire mode. So pretty solid. Moves maybe a little bit more than the HBAR, but you got to remember it is a little bit harder hitting as well. So my opinion, number 2 is this Gewehr SG1. And number 3 on my list is the ZA M76. So this is going to be a sniper / designated marksman rifle, and this thing does a lot of damage. I think it's one of the highest base damages in the game. It's not as high as the VSS, but in my opinion it's better. Just because it just feels more controllable. It's solid even up close. If you can hit your shots, it's usually only 2 shots to kill somebody right off the bat, and it's extremely solid for that that sniper role, that designated marksman long range rifle role. We'll go ahead and get this guy out here. You know, freaking boom. You know, chest shots, obliterates things. You know, and even relatively close range, shoots pretty fast. So you can usually go ahead and kill people at pretty close range with this thing if you can manage to land your shots, because you only need to land usually 2 of them, maybe 3, maybe 4 if they're wearing armor, something like that. But it's an extremely hard hitting weapon. It's also not as expensive as the SVU. So in my opinion, very solid weapon, and I rank it at number 3 overall for Vigor Weapons. Alright, and next up, at number 4, we've got the AKM. Okay, solid damage, pretty controllable even in full auto, and it's really cheap to make. It's not very expensive. You can go, you know, if you have the plan, because it's a, you know, a common weapon. You know, scroll down here and it's like, okay, I want to make a, you know, AKM, and it's only going to cost you 1,800 parts, as opposed to something like, you know, one of the gold weapons like an SVU, and it's going to be 32,000 parts or materials. You know, so just bang for your buck. The AKM is very solid, and I'll show you it's a little bit of performance on the range. So here we go. You know, you're usually going to want to get into a crouch before you get into a fight. So much wider spread than, say, the HBAR, but this is also at a fraction of the cost. Pretty solid irons. So that close to mid-range, you know, you're going to be knocking off targets. You can flip it to single. You know, if you really want to freaking shoot long range of this thing, it's also doable. AKM, number 4. Alright, and in the number 5 category, we've got the SVD and the SVU. Very similar weapons. I think the SVD is overall a little bit better because its recoil pattern is more favorable to me. And it's more suited to that long-range sniping role. However, the SVU is suppressed, so you're not going to be as obvious on the battlefield. And also, you can flip that thing to fully automatic for the really, really close range fights. Now, it's very uncontrollable in full auto, and you only have 10 rounds, you know, 11 if you put one in the chamber ahead of time, so it's not going to be nearly as good as, say, like an HBAR that has that 30 round mag, or, you know, the, you know, what is it, the MGV shoots a 22, has like 260 rounds, something crazy like that for the really, really close range fights. However, you do get that option. So in the 5 slot, SVD/SVU. Let's take them to the range. So here's the SVD. Go ahead and get into a crouch. See where these guys are at. Bam, let's go ahead and reset this thing. I wanted to see some of these really far targets. You know, you want to get that PSO sight on them. These numbers to the bottom left, that's going to be supposing to represent the height of a man at that distance. So this guy's like somewhat, you know, closer than 200 meters. All right, ran out of breath. One catches breath. Go ahead and shoot. It does a little bit less damage than the HBAR does, but conversely, you can shoot this thing super fast, but not as fast as the SVU. So this thing, also solid long range, but you hear that suppressed fire, and you can also shoot it super fast just by tapping the trigger yourself, or if you want to flip it onto full auto, you got that option as well. So there you go, SVD, SVU, number 5. Alright, just a couple of honorable mentions here, and keep in mind all these lists, it's all just my opinion. There's plenty of great weapons, you know, that are pretty solid choices. Some honorable mentions I'd like to specifically name, you know, VSS, it's pretty similar in role to that SVU, however the effective range is much less, but the base damage is extremely high, so it's very good in a shorter range fight. However, it does have that scope on it. Also, the A74K is very similar to that AKM, however, it does a little bit less base damage for a good increase in controllability. You got plenty of other good weapons down here. Look, the ADR, you know, the MP5, those are, you know, they're good weapons, but they're so expensive, especially the ADR, and especially if you're just starting out. You know, you might find a few in crates, but, you know, honestly, in my opinion, you're better off deconstructing these things and the ammo, at least at first, to get those materials up. MP5, it's very controllable, nice weapon, but it's so low of damage in my opinion, and you got to hit people a lot. If you can hit them in the head, you know, great. It's a very controllable weapon, very accurate. However, it's just not my cup of tea. AUR A1 is very solid. It's kind of like the HBAR, but without the scope. You know, it has a little scope on it, but not any kind of magnification. Not a fan of the LMGs. Not a big fan of the pistols. Let's see. We're going to talk about some of them later. Machine guns, just, you know, pretty meh. The PAMD, that's actually pretty good, especially on that 3-round burst. It's not a bad one. PPSH, very solid up close, bad at distance. Sawed-off shotgun. So the shotgun's great up close if you can hit one of those 2 shots for the double barrel varieties of shotgun. But look, you're not gonna do much at any kind of range. I'll talk about some of the bolt actions later. Talk about some of the melee. Machine Gewehr 3. So, I mean, dude, maybe if you're hip firing, walking up, you got a big, you know, belt on it as far as ammo goes, but it's just not my cup of tea. MGV, like I was talking about earlier, big, huge drum on that thing. Very low base damage, but it spits out rounds extremely quickly and has a huge mag, so good up close, not good at all for distance. I like to have a more well-rounded gun. Suomi KP, it's kind of like the PPSH. VZ52 is actually pretty solid. Semi-auto, it'll fire almost as fast as you can pull that trigger. It's kind of what the SKS should have been. It should be very similar, but the SKS ends up being super bad. Good old M16. They don't call it an M16 here. That's what the damn thing is. You can't go wrong with that for a really cheap weapon. Grease gun kind of shitty. PM rack, a lot of people, they'll bring that thing in as kind of a backup. Yeah, shoots pretty fast. It's okay, you know. M2 carbine, not my cup of tea. I see some people that really enjoy it. I'll talk about some of the bolt actions. Let's see. You know, the 629, you know, it's solid if you can land that shot. You know, it does that stagger. I'm just not a fan of pistols overall in this game. Bugle F1 is solid. It's just, you know, I don't have the plan, and I barely ever find these things, so I really don't get that much of a chance to use them. But the little bit of time I've gotten to use it has been pretty solid. And yeah, fucking Gewehr 3, you know, it's pretty similar to that SG1, but obviously without the scope. RPK, I hate the RPKs in this game. I don't know why they have the recoil like they do. Just kick straight up in the air, and then I can't even really control it. I haven't messed with this B93 Rafika. Looks like a M9 they're trying to go for, maybe. I don't know. Looks like that's like a Spaz 12 Lachaev. I haven't gotten to mess with the brand new Season 7 weapons as of yet. I guess this one's back from an old version or something like that. And then I got to mess with the M60 a little bit during shootout. But here, I'll show you a little bit of VSS action. So same sort of scope as before, and you really don't see that much of the bullet drop off here. Jesus, there we go. But it's just not as an effective range, but the base damage is super high. So let's go up in here, and it has that full auto capability. So up close, you basically got like an 11 round super solid submachine gun, but look, you better hit that thing. If you hit him, you'll kill him. AK-74, you know, very similar to that AKM. A lot more controllable though. I'm just terrible with it. So more controllable, but it is more expensive, more rare, and doesn't do as much base damage as that standard AKM. So that's my honorable mentions and kind of an overview of weapons as a whole. And I'm going to go ahead and go into my opinion of the 5 worst weapons in Vigor. Alright, leading off, the worst of the worst is any melee in this game. So I guess that would make the Puko knife the worst of the worst, and the John the best of the worst. However, melee is absolutely horrible in this game. It's terrible. They really need to change it if they want it to be viable at all. Look how slowly you swing It's horrible. You can't even hit people when they're on the ground. It's disgustingly bad. Look how slow that is. Didn't they make DayZ? I mean, not saying DayZ's melee is, you know, super good, but Jesus, it's better than this. This is your only option. You can't do anything. You can only slash them very, very slowly at very crappy damage. We made a whole video of this just because it's such a meme to just gang up on people and try to kill them with knives. And most of the time you're just going to get shot. And the one time I finally killed some poor bastard with the John knife, I made it into a video in and of itself just because it's such a rare feat. You know, melee is terrible. I don't know what else to tell you. Bohemia, fix melee in this game. Change it completely. Or just take all the knives out. It's horrible. Terrible. Nothing good about it. Melee sucks. Worst. Any melee weapon. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, next worst is the crossbow. Okay, look, high base damage. It's completely silent. It causes stagger if you manage to hit somebody. But it's not good for this game. You know, maybe if it was a no-shit one-shot kill, great. But look, you know, you'll do the 5 versus 5 deathmatch thing, you know, elimination. And then when it's the crossbow round, it's just like a meme. It's like a crossbow and a knife. I don't know if it's the same way this season. It's just ridiculous. Everyone's running around missing with their crossbow, maybe getting the one hit. It's just not not super good. I'll show you how slow it is. You know, meanwhile, you know, someone's shooting at you with a freaking AK. And there you go, you're reloading. Alright, skunk. Alright, great. Did a lot of damage, but that dude's maybe still alive. Let's see. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Let me run while I slowly reload. Hey, you see what I mean? Like, it's, you know, I mean, real life, you know, I'm sure crossbows is fun, you know, good for hunting, you know, whatever. You got Walking Dead, you want to act like, you know, that dude, you know, crossbow would be cool and stuff. It's just not good for this game, though. It's just not good. Alright, next up on the shit list is most pistols. Okay, I'm talking, you know, PM, Luger, 1911, pretty much anything that's not a revolver, and specifically the, you know, the Smith & Wesson one is actually pretty good, the gold one. Combat Magnum's okay, it's a decent backup if you're carrying a sniper or something. And the, what is it, the PSS, let me see what it's called. I think it's called the PSS, the purple one. There we go, PSS. That one's okay. You know, it's like a three shot kill, something like that, and it's internally suppressed. That one's okay too. But I'm just not a fan of pistols in this game, really. Overall, when you could just be carrying a rifle, you know, while, you know, given the choice. Obviously, if you don't have a choice, you know, you can do whatever. You know, up close, you know, you might be able to pop somebody. They give you a little starting Makarov. Yeah, but look at that thing. The accuracy thing is huge. You know, maybe aim down the sights. But against a real person, I think you need to hit them like twice in the head with this Makarov to even kill them. So it's like kind of like, why bother with most of the pistols in this game? Yeah, I wouldn't. They're bad. Alright, next weapon on the bad list is the SKS. It's a gun that should be good, should be solid. But it's just not, because it doesn't shoot as fast as it should. It should act like the VZ52. That's how it should be. It shoots the same ammo, looks pretty similar, same type of roll. You know, a semi-auto, mid to somewhat long range, you know, doesn't have a scope, but you can aim down the irons. Your rifle. But I'll show you why the SKS is bad. Okay, so here's SKS. We're gonna load it up. You know, I'm jamming on the trigger right now, just to try to shoot as fast as I can. Okay? I don't know if you can hear me just pressing the trigger. It's as fast as it goes. Okay, as opposed to the VZ52. There we go, load that thing up. Boom, 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 boom. Solid. That's what the SKS should do. There's no reason for the SKS to shoot so slowly. It's stupid. Make this do this, and then you got a winner. You could save this gun if you just make it do what the VZ52 does. That's my rant on that. Don't use the SKS. It's bad. Alright, and last on the bad list is just any bolt-action rifle in this game. So we've got the Mosin Nagant and the Gewehr 82. Okay? Look, if these were actually one-shot kill weapons, that would be a different story. So, I mean, I know the Mosin Nagant, solid base damage, it does the stagger, but it's too slow. It's too slow, and because you're not getting a one-shot kill unless you shoot somebody in the head, in which happens with almost every weapon, why not give yourself a better chance, you know, even at range with a semi-auto? You know, my opinion, and I've used the Mosin Nagant. It has its uses. You know, you can shoot somebody, have them stagger, have your buddy shoot them, or you can follow up with that shot, you know, if you're super accurate, but it's a lot harder than just having a semi-auto or, if close range, an automatic weapon. Same thing with the Gewehr, you know, less damage than the Mosin Nagant, but you do have a scope on that, so possibly more of a chance of a headshot, although using a scope in this game is kind of like shining a flashlight at somebody basically constantly. So that's just how it is in this game. You know, you're shining a flashlight at somebody if you're using that scope. So I'll show you. You know, we're loading it up, aiming, boom. Oh, hold on, gotta work the bolt. Boom, gotta work the bolt. Okay, you know, we got the irons. Bam, you know. And hey, if you do get that headshot, awesome, man. You know, you killed him, but you do that with pretty much anything. Ah, man, you know, you get that one shot, you might stagger him, then all of his buddies are going to kill you. I just don't think they're good. You know, same thing, let's go ahead and switch it to the other one. Go ahead and load that thing up. And so, you know, we got a scope now, same type of scope as the HBAR. There we go. All right, awesome, we got that hit, but then you got to work the bolt. I'm a much bigger fan of DPS and fire rate in this game, unless they greatly increase the damage on these things and made them basically a one-shot kill to the body, which I don't think they should do, because it would totally change the game up. You know, the game's, you know, okay how it is as far as weapons go, but my opinion, I don't think bolt actions are good in this one. Yeah, I just don't. So, yeah, they're bad. Alright, ladies and gents, that was my weapons review and ranking 1 through 5 of the best and the worst. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk a little bit about my initial impressions of Season 7. So far, I'm liking Season 7. The snow, as you can see, has all melted. You know, we're a nice sunny atmosphere here. Everything's nice and lush and green. You know, for a free game, it really does look good. It looks good. I know for a fact they haven't really fixed the problems that they said they were going to as far as blue screening goes, for people that have a standard PS4. You know, the people I play with that use a standard PS4, they're still blue screening a lot. And, you know, that's not cool. You know, they need to really fix that. Otherwise, people will quit. Okay, people have been given this game a chance, you know, on PS4 because it's new. You know, it's something different. You know, I guess the game Escape from Tarkov is kind of like this, but a lot better. I don't know. It's not on console. I play games on console. Okay, I like to chill out on my recliner. Okay, my recliner couch and with my controller, and play video games. You know, I'm not hunched over on a fucking, you know, chair with a shit bucket behind me playing on a fucking PC. It's just not what I do. So yeah, I mean, I like the new map. I like the new guns. You know, I got to use a couple of them, or I got to use the M60 rather on the shootout. And the other two, you know, the new shotgun, the new pistol, they look pretty cool. I hear good things about the pistol being really good at close range. So we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out, if Bohemia fixes you know, fixes the blue screening problem and the desync. The desync is really bad still. If they fix that stuff, this will be a really solid game going forward. You know, they add maps, or, you know, I guess the new map is technically an old map, but hey, it's new to me, so I like it. You know, it's pretty cool. Other thing is, cosmetics are super expensive. Man, I think they got a clown thing for way too much money. Like 900. I think the battle pass itself was like 600 something, like 690. Okay, like I don't know, and it don't even look that cool. You know, shit's super expensive. You know, you're kind of a clown if you get this, my opinion. Oh yeah, you know, change that. Maybe make the crowns cheaper. Maybe have a little more. You know, a couple more deals. Like, look, dude, if it's a fucking deal, I'm gonna get it. You know, I want to help support this game, and I want to get the extra little goodies. You know, I kind of like the stuff. I'm not gonna get the fucking $100 yellow suit that's not even tactical at all. You're just gonna get seen. I can't tell you how many dudes I've seen wearing this thing, and you just kill them. It's just so obvious. Bright yellow. I mean, it's not like I'm super tactical with a golden helmet and stuff, but you know, I got to show off my swag. You know, my video game. I earned that in Shootout. You know, and my super cool jacket that I got for totally nerding out on the Junkers season. You know, I got to level 75. I want to show that shit off. But dude, lower the price on crowns. Better deals on crowns, better deals on, you know, whatever you're trying to sell in your little store, and more people would buy this shit. Yeah, just my opinion. Make the stuff, you know, cheaper. Yeah, I realize you're gonna have people that are gonna buy the shit no matter what, but think about the people who have to buy shit to live, as well as they want to play some games. They might throw some more money your way, huh? If you lower the price on some shit. Just my opinion. I'm just one dude. You know, what does DeathGod know? Anyway, so that's my opinion so far, Season 7, and hope you enjoyed my weapons review. Stay tuned for more action, more killing. Yeah, dude, we're going to keep rolling with this game for now. Alright, thanks for watching.